Guys, and welcome to the FMHVibe Podcast. No, said update then, I've got it on my head. Podcast 3, is it 3? I think so, with Niniav, is it Niniav or Niniav?
Niniav.
I say Niniav. Niniav sounds very posh, but still. The co-owner of FMView.
Hello.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought I'd get that wrong again. Co-owner of FMView and William, the youth coach at FMHVibe. So,
hello.
Niniav. I'm just going to call you Nin because it's easier.
That's what most people do.
You've got Football Manager and Football Manager handheld on the iOS, is that correct?
I do, yes.
And out of the two, which do you tend to play more?
For me, it's more on the PC.
And do you prefer the PC because of the depth, or do you prefer the iOS pick up and play kind of different attitude?
That's the difference. You know, the iOS version is basically for pick up and play, quick game. But the PC one's for long term and things like that.
And would you agree with that, William?
Yeah, pretty much. But I play Football Manager handheld more for most of the year, and then I sort of like sway towards FMPC because I start getting bored of it. But yeah, I play Football Manager handheld more.
And out of the two, do you think they both could learn from each other, such as the PC be more quicker in loading and that kind of thing, like the iOS and PSP version, or do you think it will be more efficient for the PSP to use some of the PC features? Or do you think they're perfect? Nin?
I think the way it's set up at the moment is probably fine, because you don't want too much of one and not enough of the other, because the pick up and play is good. But you don't want that in the PC version, you want obviously more long term.
Thing is, what I find is it takes a lot of time to do, say, the pre-season, but then by that time I've spent 5-6 hours on it, and not where I could have done nearly a season in that time on the PSP version.
It depends how much you want to play.
It's a lot of time devotion from a gamer, isn't it? If that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's like, well, on like FMPC, they've got a much bigger database, don't they? So, yeah, like you said, it depends on how long you're going to spend, like, trying to find your signings and all that. Whereas on the PSP, they have a much smaller database, and also you can just sign the same player on every game, and it will still do incredibly well.
Those that don't know what Mine's potential is, it's a potential that's randomly generated in each game, often assigned to youngsters, such as, is it, Wilshere last year was mine 10? Or mine 9?
I think his minus 9.
It's 9. That means he could have had a, is it 130 to 160 potential? Or something like that.
PA goes from 0 to 200.
Yeah, I know that one. But what's minus 9? Is it 130 to 160?
About that.
Yeah. That means in every game is a bit different. So one game he could be 130 and a really bad Premier League player, would you say? So I normally say it's 150, 155 for Premier League quality. On average. But in the next game he could be 160, which is quite a decent Premier League player. So that kind of thing has come in from the PC to the iOS and hopefully soon the PSP version. Do you think that's beneficial? Or am I just rambling on?
No, it sounds good. Don't know if they'll add it in on the PSP though. Like, seem to miss out quite, like, the small things like that. You reckon they'll have the memory to do all that?
Obviously, maybe not the PSP, but the PS Vita.
Oh yeah, but that won't be out for next year's one, or maybe the one after.
They've got to make it work on all versions.
Yeah, it's the same code base, iPhone and PSP. So, I don't know, it might be added in.
It could be, but you've got to make it work on all versions of the PSP. You've got to make it work on all versions of the iOS system. You can't just decide that, well, we're going to add this, then we'll add that, then we'll add this, and we'll add that. But you can't have it on this, and you can't have it on that. It just doesn't make sense.
The thing is, the PS Vita will be a totally different thing. It will use, instead of UMDs, it's going to use memory cards like...
It's all going to be based from the store, isn't it?
Also, there's dual analogs. So it's going to be totally different in that kind of sense.
It's going to be there, but it's going to be the same OS version.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're going to because obviously the PS Vita is going to be a much more powerful console, but I don't know how far they're willing to risk expanding the game without losing the original feel about it and keeping it in touch with all the others.
I think they're going to do what they've done at the moment and just slowly enhanced it and made it more, because with the PSP Vita or whatever, it's also touchscreen, so they can also put things from the iOS in. So, say the iOS once has this cool slidey feature in, they can't add that in the PSP because it's not possible with the buttons, but the iOS...
No, it's perfectly possible with the buttons. You can use the left and right buttons. The shoulder buttons.
They're for back and forward though.
I was saying, if you're on a certain screen, it can't be used for this or that. You got the analog sticks. You got this, that, whatever. There's 100 ways around it.
Yeah, there's ways around it, but I think it's more user friendly if they maintain the same thing, and I think it will be more beneficial for screen and buttons.
You're gonna start alienating people now.
Obviously, I think you could be able to choose though.
No, you're gonna alienate. You want a version for one part of the system, you want a version for this part of the system, you want a version for this part of the system. You're now alienating people.
I think it depends on personal preference, because...
I've got a PSP, an original PSP, and it works fine.
Yeah.
If you're suddenly going to tell me that the Vita's going to have options that I can't use on my PSP, it means that the game I want have is not as good as that one. Therefore, it comes down the way, and you can just turn around and go, well, why would I buy it?
FMPC and PSP iOS, which one would you say? What would you give ratings for?
PC over iPhone.
Would you give them, say would you give the iPhone 10 rating a PC 4 or whatever? I don't know, I've just made them up off the top of my head.
6 or 7 for the iPhone and 8 or 9 for the PC.
Any justification?
Because I play the PC version more, and I look at the iOS version as basically just a pick up and play arcade game.
Do you use the iOS on the train or on the way to work or whatever?
I have done, yeah. I've used it at work. On a break, have a quick play.
Did you find it perfect for that, or did you think, I'm not really getting into this?
That's what I use it for.
You still use it then?
Yeah, I still use it. But that's all I use it for. It's not a thing that I would use for long-term gaming.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, William, are you going to agree 6 or 7 for PSP?
At the moment, I put them both 8 out of 10 for both at the moment. I probably preferred Foot Manager handheld at the time, but yeah, I'm swaying towards Foot Manager PC at the moment because I'm a bit bored of Foot Manager handheld 2011. So 8 out of 10 for both. That's
a good way to end that section. So football. The rumour, at the moment it's circulating, is Turat, 13.5 million, did I say? 30.5 million, yeah. Or whatever's on Sky Sports News. It's a lot anyway. Do you think he's worth it?
No.
Nin?
If someone wants to pay that money, then he's worth it.
Do you think, would you pay that money for him on Football Manager?
Actually,
anyone?
I have no idea how much he's worth on Football Manager.
Nah, he's shit on Football Manager. I bought him for Reading when I got promoted. I'm just pre-season, my second season, he's not that good. I bought him for 3 mil.
What about Jones and Henderson then? Do you think Henderson's worth it?
I think Henderson's a risk.
And Jones?
I don't know why they're playing Henderson either.
That's
Like,
my problem with Henderson. I don't know where you're going to play him. Why would you then be going for someone like Charlie Adam as well if...
I don't know, they're going for Wayne Bridge as well, aren't they?
Who,
Wayne Bridge
Liverpool?
and someone else for 16 million.
I know, it does make sense, because they got they got Gerrard, they got Moreles, they've got Lucas, who got Player of the Season for him.
I
So
know.
unless they...
And then they're going to sign Charlie Adam and they've signed Henderson. I don't know where they're going to play, unless they're going to play a very narrow formation and play no wingers, but then that's eliminating Cout.
Yeah. Oh, they're getting, what's his name? Aquilani back. He's come back for Liverpool.
Yeah, because they can't
After
sell
his
him.
loan at Juve.
I
They
think
want
coming
to
back
sell
is
him.
a good idea.
And
Well, they tried to sell him. That's what his agent said. They tried to sell him, but they couldn't agree a fee.
Yeah.
so
I've
it's not-
I've looked up your Tarat, by the way, in FM. It only has a sale value of 2.4 million.
On that note, I think we're going to end. So thanks for watching. Like, rate, subscribe, and sign up to www.fmhvibe.co.uk. Thanks to Nin and William for appearing, and that's it. See ya.